They'll start midway down the back straight and then be faced by one fence before they'll turn in and take the fence before the winning post, and from that point they'll have 2 complete circuits, so a total of 12 fences for this 4-year-old contest. Starter going to his position. White flag raised. The 2025 Avondue races commence. They're off and running. This is the 4-year-old maiden sponsored by Tattersalls Cheltenham and Coolagown stud. The quintet raced the first of 12 fences, and it's a real banter with rider jockey Rob James up there sharing the early lead with Just for One and James Murphy. There's then, well, in fact, it's Canty's Cove in second. Just for One is in third. Fourth place up the hill for the first time is your well-back favourite, Mr. Saint-Eloi. And the back marker sitting cold at the rear there is Best Trump in the hands of Derek O'Connor. On they come now into the home straight. They'll jump this fence 3 times. It'll be last in 2 circuits from now. And a new leader away from the fence, and that's Jimmy Kelly's runner, Canty's Cove, in the hands of Dara Allen. Dara had a winner the other day at Punchestown, so Canty's Cove, with his ears pricked in the noseband, leads up from the light blue jacket Rob James aboard a real banter. Up there in the 3rd spot in the maroon jacket, Just for One, who sits on the outside of Mr. Saint-Eloi and Johnny Barry, and then Derek out the rear aboard Best Trump. He, a bit like Rob James, aboard a real banter, both trains and rides this one. So the 5 runners, all newcomers, come now and get over that next fence at the back there. Best Trump gave it loads of room, so now they're on the swing on this bend adjacent to one of the banks upcoming in the big race of the day. But they're on the level for a couple of furlongs before they'll be meeting the next fence, which will bring them down the hill for the first time. Canty's Cove, in this 2.5-mile 4-year-old maiden, just has a small advantage in company for the lead there with a real banter. They're 1 and 2. So at this fence, a real banter out jumped there by Canty's Cove. There's 3 lengths then back to find Mr. Saint-Eloi, who is in company with Just for One, and then the back marker is Best Trump. So they move down the hill, soon be into the dip, and then they'll be greeted by 2 more fences in the back straight, and the 5 runners tighten up as Canty's Cove still has an advantage of about a length and a bit. In second place travels the 7, a real banter, the son of Jetaway. And then coming to this fence in 3rd place there is Just for One. Mr. Saint-Eloi jumps nicely in 4th and still held together last to the 5 is Best Trump. So on to the next fence. And again, Canty's Cove out-jumped a real banter who put in a short one going into it, but got over it nonetheless. Close up in 3rd place is Just for One. And then at the back of the field, Mr. Saint-Eloi alongside Best Trump. So the quintet heading towards the halfway point. They have got 6 more fences to jump in this 4-year-old maiden. It's produced some very good horses over the years, probably none better than Fernie Hollow, who won the very first edition of the race when it was staged as a 4-year-old maiden. Is there another Fernie in here? We lost poor Fernie after his run in Cork in December. Can we find a replacement? Well, out there in front at the moment is Canty's Cove. His advantage is just over a length From in second place is A Real Banter, still close up with a lap to go. In third place, Just for One, Mr. Sanalwa and Best Trump. 5 out, looms in front of the 5 runners. Canty's Cove, Dara Allen from Rob James on A Real Banter, who's over there in second place. A good jump brings Mr. Sanalwa up until there. Hunch is there in a third place. Fourth place is now disputed by the patiently ridden Best Trump, who's with Just for One out the rear, but still only 4 or 5 lengths cover this well-grouped field. All in their debut are jumping reasonably well, and now they're going to soon start upping the ante here as they head to the 4th last fence. So Canty's Cove drives on the level. Mr. Sanalwa now goes up to press for second place with A Real Banter as they take off with this one. And we've lost both Mr. Sanalwa and A Real Banter. They took off together and came down together. And their departure has changed the complexion, because in front is Canty's Cove and doesn't appreciate being on his own and disallows Best Trump and Derek O'Connor to close right up. A couple of lengths off them, last of the 3 going, but still in contact and holding every chance is Just for One. So we started with 5 and we're down to 3. Canty's Cove in front as they come to this fence. Best Trump tracking. They go on by 4 or 5 lengths now to Just for One. So onwards they move to the second last fence. Canty's Cove, the son of Crystal Ocean, from Best Trump in second place. They pick up the tempo now as they climb to the final bend with 1 to jump. Canty's Cove for Dara Allen. Derek O'Connor now begins to squeeze along on Best Trump and needs to get alongside Canty's Cove, who's not stopping at the moment. They've pulled right away from Just for One. So Canty's Cove is just clinging on here from Best Trump on the outside. Here's the final fence, and at that one a mistake by Canty's Cove, and that may have been critical, because now Derek gives a love tap behind the saddle there to Best Trump, and he begins to forge clear, and this is becoming the Derek O'Connor maiden here in Knockanard, because for the 3rd year on the bounce he wins, this time with Best Trump. Gallant effort in second by Canty's Cove, and that's all that finished, because pulled up before the final fence was Just for One.
The result of the first race: first number 3, number 8 was second. 3 beat 8. And your winning distance, 7.5 lengths. The second race, the 5-year-old Geldings Maiden, sponsored by Rathbarry Stud and Chinnick's Supermarket in Fermoy. There are 10 runners. The runners and riders: number 3, Mr. R. James. Number 10, Mr. E.P. O'Brien. Number 13, Mr. S. Staples. Number 14, Mr. E. Staples, claiming £5. Number 16, Mr. D. O'Connor. Number 19, Mr. J. Hurley. Over the page, number 23, Mr. S. Tobin claiming 5. Number 24, Mr. R. Sugru. Number 26, Mr. J.G. Murphy. And number 29, Mr. D.H. Allen.